What if most of your stress isn't coming from your life, but from your mind refusing to slow down? Every morning, millions of people wake up already overwhelmed, replaying old conversations, predicting future disasters, worrying about things they can't control, and the more they think, the worse it gets. The spiral pulls them deeper. Anxiety, overthinking, exhaustion, more anxiety. But the ancient Stoics discovered something powerful. They lived through war, betrayal, uncertainty, and loss. Yet their minds stayed calm like a still lake. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently think." Meaning, if your thoughts are chaotic, your life becomes chaotic. If your thoughts are disciplined, your life becomes peaceful. In this video, we'll break down 7 ancient Stoic habits that were designed to silence unnecessary worry, stop the endless loop of overthinking, and bring your mind back to clarity and control, even in a loud and unpredictable world. Before we begin, comment below. I choose calm. 1. The Stoic pause. Mastering your first reaction. Most anxiety doesn't begin because life is truly dangerous or chaotic. It begins because the mind reacts too quickly. One unexpected email, one sharp tone, one unread message, one small change in someone's behavior, and suddenly your thoughts start running ahead of reality. Within seconds, your mind is already predicting negative outcomes that haven't even happened. This is where worry is born. The ancient Stoics understood this pattern better than anyone. They knew that the first reaction is the spark that ignites most emotional suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are troubled by something external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." The event is neutral. Your mind's instant interpretation is what turns it into fear, confusion, or catastrophe. To stop this cycle at its source, the Stoics trained a simple but powerful skill, the Stoic pause. It is the act of stopping your mind, just for a few seconds, before allowing emotion to take control. In those few seconds, you reclaim the driver's seat of your inner world. Picture a situation most people in modern life know too well. You receive a short message that says, "We need to talk." Instantly, your heart tightens. You assume something bad is coming. You imagine conflict, disappointment, or failure. But you're not reacting to facts. You're reacting to the story your mind created in the first second. Or imagine driving during rush hour when someone cuts you off aggressively. Without the Stoic pause, anger takes over immediately. Your heartbeat rises, your breathing tightens, and your mood is ruined for the next hour. With the Stoic pause, you stop, breathe, and see the moment clearly before attaching a story to it. This pause interrupts the chain reaction. It moves the mind out of survival mode and into clarity. Instead of reacting, you switch to responding. Instead of jumping to conclusions, you regain perspective. Over time, this practice becomes a kind of inner armor. To apply the Stoic pause, begin by stopping yourself the moment you feel a surge of emotion. Don't reply to the message. Don't explain yourself. Don't assume the worst. Let the moment breathe. Take one slow breath and lower your shoulders. This simple physical shift signals safety to your nervous system. After breathing, ask yourself a single grounding question. Is this the actual event or the story I'm creating about it? Most of the time, it's the story. Once you've separated the event from the interpretation, respond with intention. You might choose silence. You might choose a calm message. You might choose to walk away. The key is that you decide, not your fear, not your insecurity, not your impulse. After practicing this for a week or two, you'll notice something transformative. Your mind becomes quieter. You stop assuming the worst. You stop replaying imaginary scenarios. You stop feeding anxiety with automatic reactions. You begin to trust your ability to handle life without spiraling. The Stoic pause doesn't suppress emotion. It gives you space to understand it, regulate it, and choose how to use it. It is a small habit with enormous power. When you control the first seconds of your reaction, you control the direction of your entire day. And slowly, you gain control over your entire inner world. In an age where everyone reacts instantly, the person who pauses becomes the calmest, clearest, and strongest one in the room. Master the pause, and you master your peace. 2. The control column. Focus. Only on what's truly yours. Worry thrives in the gap between what you want to control and what you actually can. Most people spend their mental energy trying to manage outcomes, opinions, timing, other people's behavior, the future, and even the past. It's no surprise they feel overwhelmed. The mind becomes a battlefield of imagined disasters simply because it is fighting wars it can never win. The ancient Stoics solved this with a principle so simple it seems almost too obvious. Focus only on what is truly yours. Epictetus expressed it in a single sentence. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. But behind those words lies a discipline that can completely reshape your inner world. Think about how much of your worry comes from things outside your influence. Someone doesn't text back. Someone changes their tone. A coworker takes credit for something. A flight gets delayed. A plan falls apart. A person misunderstands you. None of these are fully under your control, yet they dominate your mind as if worrying could change them. The Stoics approached life differently. When they felt pressure, disappointment, or anxiety rising, they separated the situation into 2 categories: what depends on me and what does not. This separation creates instant clarity. It pulls you out of emotional reactivity and into rational focus. To apply this, imagine your mind as a sheet of paper divided into 2 columns. In the left column, you list everything that is within my control. Your choices, your effort, your integrity, your preparation, your boundaries, your reactions, your honesty. In the right column, you list everything that is outside my control. Outcomes, timing, other people's thoughts, other people's emotions, their loyalty, their consistency, and every external circumstance. When you place your fears into these 2 columns, something shifts. Problems that once felt heavy suddenly feel lighter. A situation that felt personal becomes impersonal. Anxiety loses its oxygen. Take a simple example. You send a message to someone and they don't reply for hours. Your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? Are they upset? None of that belongs to you. Their timing, their mood, their priorities, these lie entirely in the second column. The only thing you control is the quality of the message you sent and the patience you choose afterward. Everything else is noise. Or look at a workplace scenario. Your boss gives vague feedback, or a project doesn't turn out the way you hoped. The result is not fully yours, but your willingness to improve, your preparation, and your professionalism belong completely to you. When you redirect your attention to what's yours, anxiety dissolves because you stop carrying responsibility for what isn't. This habit builds emotional resilience. When a Stoic faces difficulty, they immediately ask, "What part of this is mine?" That question cuts through confusion like a blade. It removes unnecessary suffering, removes overthinking, and brings your attention back to the only place where peace is possible: your own actions. Over time, something remarkable happens. You become calmer, not because life gets easier, but because your mind stops chasing what was never yours. You stop personalizing things. You stop assuming control over the uncontrollable. You stop pouring emotional energy into situations you cannot redesign. You stand firmer. You breathe deeper. You think clearly. And life stops feeling like a storm you're drowning in, because you finally understand the difference between the waves you can navigate and the ones you must simply let pass. Focus on what is yours, release what is not, and peace will follow naturally. 3. Negative visualization. Preparing the mind before life strikes. Worry often comes from one place: the fear of what might happen, the fear of losing something, the fear of being embarrassed, the fear of a future disappointment you can't see but can somehow feel. The mind begins to imagine problems long before they exist, and those imagined futures drain your peace in the present. The ancient Stoics developed a practice that flips this mental trap on its head. Instead of avoiding uncomfortable possibilities, they faced them intentionally. This is the discipline known as negative visualization, the art of calmly imagining potential setbacks so they no longer control you. Seneca described it this way: rehearse the things that could go wrong so that they do not catch you unprepared. He wasn't promoting pessimism, he was promoting mental immunity. When you mentally walk through a difficulty before it happens, the fear attached to it dissolves. Your mind becomes familiar, prepared, grounded. Imagine beginning your day with a 2-minute mental rehearsal. You close your eyes and picture one challenge that could realistically occur today. A meeting going poorly, a delay, someone misunderstanding you, losing a client, or facing a difficult conversation. Instead of resisting the thought, you sit with it. You observe it calmly, as if watching a scene in a movie. You then ask yourself, if this happens, how would a rational and grounded version of me respond? At that moment, the fear loses its edge. The unknown becomes known. The uncontrollable becomes manageable in your mind. People who rely only on positive thinking often crumble when reality shifts. But those who practice negative visualization have already faced the possibility. Their mind is steady when others panic. This is what makes Stoic calm look so unshakable from the outside. It's not magic, it's preparation. Consider a simple example. You're waiting for an important reply from someone, and deep down, you fear they might say no. Without preparation, a negative response feels like a shock. You take it personally, spiral into overthinking, and lose perspective. But if, earlier that day, you visualized the possibility of that rejection and mentally rehearsed, accepting it with grace, the disappointment no longer destroys your balance. You respond instead of reacting. You stay aligned with your values instead of collapsing into fear. Another example: a flight gets cancelled, a plan falls apart, or someone speaks to you harshly. Most people explode with frustration because they expected everything to go smoothly. But a Stoic expects life to contain delays, misunderstandings, and rough edges. By mentally rehearsing these setbacks, they move through them with composure, not shock. This practice also deepens gratitude. When you imagine losing something, your health, your job, your relationships, your comforts, you naturally appreciate them more. Negative visualization doesn't just reduce anxiety, it strengthens appreciation for the things you still have. The goal is simple. Make your mind familiar with discomfort so the unexpected no longer terrifies you. You create internal stability by removing the element of surprise. You become someone who moves through uncertainty with calm acceptance rather than fear. This is not about expecting the worst. It is about being unshaken when the worst happens. Prepare the mind before life strikes, and no moment can break you. 4. Voluntary discomfort. Building the inner strength that silences. Anxiety. Anxiety grows in comfortable lives. The more insulated you are from difficulty, the more fragile your mind becomes. Modern life has made everything convenient. Temperature control, food delivery, entertainment on demand, instant communication. But convenience has a hidden cost. It weakens the psychological muscles that protect you from stress. The ancient Stoics understood this long before modern psychology confirmed it. They believed that a person who never faces discomfort becomes a prisoner of fear. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor several nights a month, wore simple clothes, and ate very modest meals, not because he lacked wealth, but because he refused to let comfort make him weak. His goal was simple. When real hardship arrives, he would not be shaken. Voluntary discomfort is the deliberate act of choosing small difficulties so that larger difficulties cannot overwhelm you. It is the quiet training ground where resilience is built, and in a world full of uncertainty, resilience is not optional. It is the foundation of inner peace. Think about how much worry comes from the fear of things you believe you cannot handle. A financial setback, rejection, conflict, loneliness, physical effort, or unexpected change. When you avoid discomfort, your mind becomes convinced that you are too weak to face life. But when you intentionally step into discomfort, even in small ways, your mind learns the opposite. I can handle more than I thought. This shift is powerful. It reduces anxiety because confidence replaces fear. In modern life, voluntary discomfort can be simple and safe. You might take a cold shower for 30 seconds in the morning. You might walk outside without your phone. You might tell someone the truth you've been avoiding. You might sit in silence instead of distracting yourself. You might challenge yourself to start the task you've been delaying. These actions don't look dramatic from the outside, but internally, they build something rare: psychological toughness. Every time you voluntarily face something uncomfortable, you send a message to your nervous system: I can remain calm even here. The next time an unexpected challenge appears, your mind won't spiral. It has already trained for chaos. Consider how this plays out at work. A difficult conversation terrifies someone who avoids discomfort, but a person who has practiced facing small challenges, cold exposure, early mornings, disciplined routines, approaches the same conversation with grounded confidence. Their mind doesn't panic, it adjusts. Or imagine someone who is used to constant stimulation: music, social media, noise. Silence becomes uncomfortable. But by spending even 5 minutes a day sitting quietly, they build tolerance for stillness. That tolerance becomes the seed of mental calm, a state most people never develop. Voluntary discomfort also breaks the illusion of helplessness. When you challenge yourself even slightly, waking up earlier, exercising when you don't feel motivated, eating a simpler meal, choosing a harder path, you teach your mind that stress is not a threat. It is training, and the more you train, the less fear you carry. Over time, situations that once triggered overthinking no longer dominate you. You stop imagining disaster. You stop fearing difficulty. You stop shrinking from life. Calm becomes your baseline because you know you can handle real struggle, not just the comfortable version of life. Voluntary discomfort is not self-punishment. It is self-liberation. It is the art of strengthening the mind so that life's challenges cannot break it. The tougher you become, the quieter your anxiety becomes. Choose a little discomfort today, and peace will follow you tomorrow. 5. Stoic journaling. Emptying the mind to restore inner calm. Nothing fuels overthinking more than carrying unprocessed thoughts. When your mind is full, scattered, and tense, it cycles the same worries again and again, like a machine trapped in a loop. Most people don't suffer because their lives are chaotic. They suffer because their minds have no space left to breathe. The ancient Stoics solved this with one powerful practice: writing. Not writing to be poetic, not writing to impress, but writing to think clearly. Marcus Aurelius didn't create meditations as literature. He wrote to himself every morning and every night to examine his emotional reactions, to straighten his thoughts, and to remind himself of who he wanted to be. This is the essence of Stoic journaling, using the page as a tool to remove the noise from your mind. When you write something down, the worry leaves your head and lands on paper. It becomes something you can see, analyze, and understand, not something that quietly controls you from the inside. The power of this habit becomes clear when you think about nighttime anxiety. Many people lie awake replaying conversations, imagining future problems, or trying to predict outcomes they cannot change. Stoic journaling breaks this cycle. Writing before bed discharges mental tension. Writing in the morning sets a stable direction for the day. The practice is simple, but its effects are profound. Each morning, ask yourself 3 grounding questions. What is within my control today? What principles will guide my actions? What must I face with courage? These questions shift your mind from fear to focus, from anxiety to intention. They remind you that your power lies not in predicting the future, but in preparing yourself for it. At night, the Stoics performed what they called the evening review. They asked themselves, what did I do well today? Where did I lose my discipline? What can I improve tomorrow? This is not self-judgment, it is self-honesty, and self-honesty creates growth. When you practice this consistently, something begins to change. You start seeing your patterns. You notice which triggers appear again and again. You understand why certain situations cause stress. You learn how your mind reacts when it's tired, overwhelmed, or insecure. Awareness gives you power. Power gives you calm. Journaling also reduces emotional intensity. When a thought is trapped in your mind, it feels huge. But when you write it down, it becomes smaller, clearer, and less intimidating. The act of writing forces your brain to slow down, to turn chaos into order, to convert emotion into perspective. Imagine writing this after a stressful day. I felt anxious when my boss questioned my idea. The anxiety came from wanting approval, not from the conversation itself. Suddenly, the fear is no longer a mystery. You can see it, understand it, and work with it. You're no longer reacting blindly. Stoic journaling is not about perfection. It is about attention. It is about showing up to your own mind every day with honesty and discipline. And the reward is a quieter inner world. Overthinking loses its grip when your thoughts have somewhere to go. Anxiety fades when your mind is not overflowing. Peace grows when your inner life is organized and examined. Write a little every day, not to create beauty, but to create clarity. Empty the mind onto the page, and calm will rise in its place. 6. Single task presence. Quieting the mind through focus. A noisy mind is almost always a divided mind. When your attention is scattered across half-done tasks, buzzing notifications, unfinished conversations, and endless digital noise, your thoughts begin to fragment. That fragmentation becomes anxiety. Not because life is overwhelming, but because your mind is pulled in too many directions at once. Modern life has normalized multitasking, but multitasking is a trap. It convinces you that you're being productive when in reality, you're weakening your ability to think clearly. When you try to do 3 things at the same time, answering messages, checking emails, listening to something in the background, you're never fully present in any of them. And where presence disappears, anxiety grows. The Stoics lived centuries before smartphones and constant stimulation, but they deeply understood the importance of doing one thing with full attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a person must concentrate like a Roman, doing the task before you as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life. That level of presence is not just discipline, it is medicine for a restless mind. Imagine sitting at your desk with 5 tabs open while your phone lights up with notifications. You tell yourself you're just checking something, but each interruption fractures your concentration. Your mind becomes jittery, unable to settle. Overthinking thrives in this kind of mental environment, feeding on the tension created by unfinished thoughts. Now imagine the opposite. Closing everything, choosing one task, and giving it your full attention for 20 minutes. No distractions, no switching, no noise. Just you and the thing you are doing. Something shifts. Your breathing slows, your mind steadies. The chaos inside you softens because you've given your brain a single anchor to hold on to. This is the power of single-task presence. It doesn't just make you more productive, it makes you calmer. To cultivate this habit, begin by creating small windows of focused work. Set a timer for 20 minutes and commit to doing one task. Turn off notifications. Put your phone out of sight. Close every tab that is not essential. Tell yourself, for these 20 minutes, this is the only thing that exists. When the mind tries to wander, bring it back gently. Not with frustration, but with discipline. You'll notice that the longer you practice this, the easier it becomes. Your mind begins to prefer depth over distraction, focus over noise, clarity over chaos. This habit extends far beyond work. Try applying single-task presence when you eat, when you walk, when you talk to someone, when you prepare your morning routine. Doing one thing at a time invites a sense of calm into every part of your life. Your thoughts stop racing because your attention is no longer split into 1,000 pieces. People who multitask often feel stressed without knowing why. People who single-task feel grounded without trying. That is the quiet power of presence. It gives your mind fewer places to scatter, fewer shadows to invent, fewer worries to magnify. Over time, your inner world becomes quieter simply because your attention learns to stay where your body is. You operate from clarity rather than mental clutter, and life feels less threatening because your mind is no longer stretched beyond its limits. Do one thing fully, and worry has no room to grow. Where your attention rests, your peace begins. 7. Accept reality without resistance. Ending the fight you can't win. Anxiety often isn't caused by what happens to you. It's caused by resisting what has already happened. Most worry is a mental argument with reality. This shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't act like this. This situation should be different. Life shouldn't be this hard right now. But reality doesn't bend just because we want it to, and the more we fight the present moment, the more tension we create inside ourselves. The Stoics saw this clearly. They believed that the fastest way to quiet the mind is to stop wrestling with the unchangeable. When something has already unfolded, your only choices are to accept it or to suffer. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means clarity. It means choosing to respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. The principle behind this is known as amor fati, the love of one's fate. Not the fate you wished for, not the outcome you planned, but the one that arrived at your doorstep, uninvited and unannounced. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a person should meet every event as if you had chosen it. When you treat life this way, resistance dissolves. Anxiety loses its grip because you're no longer mentally fighting what already exists. Imagine this. You miss a flight. You can rage, complain, panic, and catastrophize, but none of those reactions will make the plane turn around. The moment you say to yourself, "This is what is happening, and I choose my response," your mind shifts into calm problem-solving instead of emotional chaos. You regain control of yourself, even if you don't control the situation, or imagine someone's behavior changes. They pull away, they become distant or inconsistent. The mind immediately starts searching for explanations and imagining worst-case scenarios. But you cannot control their inner world. You cannot control their choices, their timing, their wounds, or their silence. The only thing you control is how you carry yourself through the uncertainty. Acceptance frees you from drowning in interpretations. Resistance